what's the first thought, the first impression that comes to mind when you see, this is you as Ugo now, when you see a woman with a well-laid wig? I mean, what lace? Can't see the lace. Beautiful frontal, well-styled, healthy body, volume, movement, all those things. When that woman walks into the room, what are the first three things that you think of?
Well, first, she's a diva.
Quality,
Lack of confidence.
luxury,
How are you funding this?
someone who understands where she's headed, basically.
Hair shaming became a massive global conversation when Chris Rock released his documentary Good Hair. Remember that? Yeah. Now, that explored the attitude women of color have towards certain hair types. At the time, Team Natural or unprocessed hair was the underdog, and women with kinky hair were shamed to the high heavens. Well, fast forward to today, and Team Natural have picked up all of their accolades and redefined the narrative about wearing your crown of hair. And if you're not natural, then the only other option is to be Team What Lace? Where do you see my lace? There's no lace. Yeah, those girls. Wigs have taken over, and they're undoubtedly here to stay. You don't believe me? Well, walk into a room with your simple, relaxed hair combed to the back. We used to call it push back, and see the scorn that greets you. Yup, the tables have certainly turned. But here's my question. What is the pressure at the core of this? Women are spending their savings on inches, I mean down to your knees kind of inches, and others are investing in bucket loads of products for the perfect amount of natural bounce and curl and sheen, you name it. Is it still about being our best selves? Or is there a silent war happening between us as women that we need to think about? Well, today we are cracking the code on hair shaming. Okay, so Ugo, let's get straight into this.
Yeah.
Why this wave? I don't want to call it a sudden wave, but it was almost like a sudden wave where one moment, everybody was weaving their hair, like getting their hair sewn in. People had their relaxed hair, and then like, bang, wigs. But wigs have always existed. So what changed it? What changed the game for Black women?
I didn't know. I also took a while to catch up with the
Yeah.
wig.
The wig trend.
I struggled with it for a while
Yeah.
because I just didn't understand why, just take it off and then fit it back in. But it was a trend that came to stay, and obviously, once it's a trend, you have to catch up with it.
Yeah.
And it's such an easy life. It's very convenient. So people now have quality hair all over.
Yeah.
So they can afford to buy a hair, put it on a cap, and then they'll show that, oh, I have this hair for 2 years, really.
Yeah.
So it's safer. Your hair scalp is protected, and then your hair itself is protected as well. So you don't need to change the weave, over time. So I think it's a convenient way of living, and then I think women like convenience.
Growing up, I had natural hair.
Okay.
Then I got into secondary school. After secondary school, well, all through secondary school, I had natural hair. So for the longest time, from birth to my teenage years. Then when I got into university, for the 4 years, I tried. But it was too difficult. To keep my edges on flick, I had to do this every day. It just wasn't possible.
Yeah.
I thought I was doing too much damage to my hair.
Okay.
And as an older person now, I think, because I have a 3-year-old, a girl, and she wants to be like me. She says, "Mommy, I like your hair. Mommy, I like your nails." So I want, because these things, I think they're subtle reminders of who we are.
Yeah.
I believe a woman's hair, tells at least 20% of the kind of person she is, most times. So if we're talking about, body positivity, we're talking about being out there, we should be proud of what we have. I mean,
Natural.
yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So I'm not saying that people, cannot go the weave way, but it shouldn't. I don't think it should be, you know, I can't do without it.
Inches to your bum.
Exactly, I don't think so. I think that's going too far, because also the kind of things that people then have to do, these things cost a lot of money, and they're like mobile phones. So every season something new is released, and you have to keep up. How are the young girls funding this? I think those are the real questions we need to begin to ask ourselves.
The luxury market, which is the market I play in, is a market that has come to stay intentionally to cater for women of a certain class. So that the women who know the look and feel that they want to have, and they don't mind paying anything to have that look and feel. Basically, yeah.
So, how convenient is 200,000 naira to cough up on hair?
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money, money, money.
Dollar, dollar. Dollar, dollar.
There are people who do not want to settle for less.
Yeah.
And those are the women that we decided to cater for. The women who have refused to settle for less. The women who want, who go out every day, they push their limits, and they say, look, I deserve to wear the best hair. If you come into a room now and you're wearing a synthetic wig rather than synthetic braids, for example, I would look at you like, girl, are you not feeling hot? Like, does that feel really comfortable on your skin? Because truth is that it doesn't feel comfortable on your skin. And like I said, it's a thing of convenience.
Yeah. In your experience, when somebody came and bought a really expensive wig, how much did that wig cost? In your life, the one day you're like, I knew the hair business was lucrative, but I did not think the day would come that somebody would come and spend X amount on one unit.
Yeah, so people, like I said, spend as much as $1,500 on one wig, yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah.
I feel like I've heard about way more expensive hair than that.
Well, yeah, there are way more expensive hairs, I'm trying to be conservative, but
No,
really,
don't be concerned. I want to know
Yeah.
what happens on a realistic basis.
yeah, so truth is that
Yeah.
on a realistic basis, there are very few people who can afford that. So they go way beyond the $1,500, and hit 2,000, 2,500,
Yeah.
However, I also wouldn't say that that's the realistic basis.
Okay,
You
okay,
see the
okay, I
people
see what you
who
mean.
want to,
Yeah.
they
There's
do that.
People who are over the top.
Good, they do that.
Okay, but then on a general, you'd say somebody
On a
who's ready to
general,
spend money
on a
spends
general,
1,500.
on a day-to-day basis,
Yes.
people do 1,000, 1,200. On the over-the-top people, you do 1,800, 2,000, 2,500. Yeah.
Stop got plans, so because I want missing money, they find me. Money they find me. Money they find me. Money they find me.
My problem is if you have the things you have to do, if you have to do them all the time. So if, say, for example, I hear that a bundle full head cost over 300,000, 300 to 500,000. That's between $1,000 to $1,500. It doesn't make sense. I mean, these white folks don't spend that much in their hair. I mean, of course, entrepreneurs are cashing in on that. I have no problem with that because it's selling. But at the same time, I'm like, what message are we really passing on? Do you feel like to be a correct girl, you have to be, for lack of a better term to use, do you feel like you have to wear that kind of hair? Do you feel like, because it begins to affect even the young girls mentally. I don't have this kind of hair. I can't roll with these girls in the circle. So yeah, I have no issues with them, but I think it reeks lack of confidence.
Okay, so let's get to that point, right? There's women spending thousands of dollars basically on their hair. Now, how many of these women can actually afford it? How many women are actually coming from their personal accounts when their salary comes in or when their business pays out or whatever with their personal money to say that, listen, these are my savings, these are whatever I'm paying for my hair?
Well, truth is that um, I have most of my clientele base are women who truly work hard. You know, the much you could possibly say are people who ask for payment plan,
Okay.
and then you deposit really. And you know, for the ones that I know who have good paying jobs, I possibly collect a check, and then I pay in at the end of the month. You know, depending on how reliable you are, you know, you get one or two people who default. You know, and then you have to chase them. You know, over and over, and then um, some of them never get to pay you that money. You know, but it's very minimal.
It's your money. So in the end, if you earn a certain amount and you designate X amount to hair, that works
Do
for
you
you.
think it's okay to do it on credit?
Absolutely not. No, that's going too far.
What's
Credit,
wrong with
credit.
payment plans for hair?
No, I mean, okay, well, here's what I think. I think if it's something you can afford, because yes, even people who can afford stuff still do payment plan. But if you're going to, go in debt get in debt because you're trying to look the part, there's a problem. There's a fundamental problem with that line of thought. I'm an entrepreneur. I feel like that human hair is a certification in my business. That's how I look at it. Like, okay, well, if I'm spending this amount of money, what's the foregone alternative? Averagely on a monthly basis, I think 25,000
Okay.
will take care of my hair.
Okay.
Being that I want to moisturize it, I want to go to the salon to do some style. So I think it's more about creativity. Now, the beautiful thing about your hair, this natural hairs, even if you don't have the budget, even if you don't have the big budget, little things will make it grow.
Okay.
And you don't need to do that much. It's diverse. You can actually just pack it up, style it this way. So I think we lack creativity in that. People actually don't know what to do with the hair.
Yeah.
So most times, they feel like, well, if all I need to do is, weave my hair and just put it on and I look glamorous, So I think we need to explore a little bit of that creativity.
I say to people that recession won't come on our business. When your lipstick finishes, you must buy that ruby wool. You must. So some people's children won't eat, but they must buy hair. So yeah, I think it's a female thing. They really want to slay, and it's important they slay.
How often do men come in to pick up hair?
Yeah, men come in once in a while.
Do they know the difference, or is it that they're on the phone with whoever they're getting it for and getting specifications, maybe dealing with pictures? Do men actually know the difference?
No man comes in to buy without having a specification, really.
Okay. So basically, what we're saying is that men don't know the difference between 18 inches and 19. They just know that it's longer.
No,
it's
but
a different
what
color.
I also know is that the men are in the center of this competition with women,
Okay.
basically.
So it comes down to the guys.
Yeah,
You
it
feel.
some way affects them.
I think men find my hair really interesting.
Okay.
I don't know if it reminds them of there's something. Oh, I like your hair, and quite not a perverted kind of way. Like a really sweet, cute.
Yeah.
It remind me of my sister. I don't know if that's a bad thing.
A girl next door is never a bad thing. Yeah.
So I think I haven't really, because yes, sometimes even the times I decide, what, I want to wear a wig for a few days, and I mean, quite frankly, a lot of them say I prefer your natural hair. You look better in your natural hair. You look more honest, more sincere. I can look you in the eye and I know you look recognizable. But when you look like this, I'm wondering, all kinds of things. But I think I think it's important for African girls to understand that it's not really, you this is what you're born with. You would have to manage it. You would have to live with it. You have to make it's like, the story of the 10 talents. Live with what you have.
That most of the time, for some of the wives, the money is coming from the man. For some of the side chicks, the money is coming from the man. Anyways, so it's just the very few people who legitimately work really hard for their money and say, "Oh, I'm deserving of this, and I want to buy it." Most of the other things going on behind the scene is being done for a particular reason, which either makes sense or does not.
How are you funding this? Those are the questions I ask because I know they cost an arm and a leg, at least full rent for somebody for 12-month period.
So
That's
do
how
you
I
feel
see
like
it.
we as black women are not yet earning enough money to be able to finance this? In the majority?
Well, I think my
I thought
point
sisters
is,
were doing it for themselves. Or what do you think in your experience?
well, yes, okay, in Africa, yes, a majority are not earning that much to be able to afford it. So I find that a lot of people are doing things that they shouldn't be doing to be able to afford that lifestyle. Now, for the people who like it genuinely, I think for me, the most important thing is understanding that even if I buy this, I should be comfortable in my hair. I should say next month I'm going to just do something creative with my hair. It doesn't, it's like, it can, I can like bags, you like shoes, someone else like. So there's no right or wrong, like you said. It's about, but just ensuring that there's a limit. You're not doing it to a point where it's becoming a criterion for, feeling, if you're feeling complete or incomplete with yourself. I think that's my standpoint.
Hey, hashtag Team Slay Queens. By hook or by crook or by choke, my sister.
A young girl in maybe Unilag or Uniben or Cardinal or somewhere. Let's look at those people who possibly are not even buying hair as expensive as this, who possibly are supposed to be doing the synthetic we talked about, the fiber we talked about,
within their price range,
but they decide to wear hair of 100K or 70K or 80K. When their school fees is about 80K or 100K or 120K, just once, for example, so let's not even look at it from right up there. Let's look at it from down, because it starts from there. And then you start from maybe the Unilag, and then that they say get hair. If you get hair for 40K, 50K, Unilag girls will buy. University girls will buy. But the pressure starts from down there, because they want to look like a certain type of girl. Maybe the ones who don't even come to school. They come to school once in a week, because they're out of school the whole 4 days trying to make money to buy their hair and to make their hair and to turn up on campus and now put other people under pressure, and then take out all the other ones who are even in the classroom out of school to go join them and do what it is they are doing just to make money.
You can be talking with someone who's all of this hair and flick, nails done, but they're just not even confident with themselves. I mean, Lagos is a very pretentious place. Make no mistakes. But if you bring substance, people will look beyond your outward, and they will begin to connect with you. Which really your talent, which is really what it should be about at the end of the day. I'm not selling sex. I'm not selling looks. I'm selling substance. I'm selling actual products. So the circles I find myself, these things don't matter. Yes. So I don't really have issues with that.
Well, you have the facts now, so at the end of the day, the choice is yours. We've decoded it, and I think the most powerful thing here is to understand what guides your decisions. What is it that's driving you to do what you're doing? And once you have a self-reflection, introspection about why am I wired in a certain way, then I think you're right on the right track. Listen, there's absolutely nothing wrong with wanting to be a glamorous diva with the longest hair in the building. Absolutely nothing wrong. But just remember that if that's all you're selling and that's all you're offering, honey, down to the laws of economics, it's a depreciating asset. Meaning, it gets cheaper and cheaper as time goes by because something newer, hotter, younger, flashier always comes out. So be careful with that. I mean, if you want to be team natural, team wig, team what lace, team edges, team whatever you're trying to do, just make sure it's coming from a place of self-love, a place of self-respect, self-worth. Shouldn't be based on anybody else but yourself and the things that will preserve you and give you a great future, a great destiny. On that note, this has been Decoded. Until next time, make sure you choose wisely.